Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show. We are celebrating 20 years right at the minute. We are in the middle of the roast. We're going to get back to Sterlo and the gang, but we've got some other topics to talk about in a tick. But there it is, the Rugby League Week. And, of course, everyone mentions where did the Immortals come from, the whole concept. Well, of course, it does come from the Rugby League Week, and there is a copy of it. And you can see the 7 already there. When it first came in 1984, it was Chook, it was Reg Gasnier, it was Clive Churchill, and, of course, Bobby Fulton. And then Chang and Wally Lewis came in, then Artie Beetson came in 2004, and in the grand final week through the Manor League and the Manor League function, the 8th Immortal will be mentioned. And I had the pleasure of speaking to Joyce Churchill during the week. It really was a wonderful conversation. We're going to show you that towards the end of the show. And Joyce, who is, of course, the widow of the late, great Clive Churchill, gives her thoughts on the next Immortal.
Now, invariably, behind every great man, there is a great woman. And when it comes to rugby league's little master, Clive Churchill, that was certainly the case. Her name is Joyce Churchill, and during the week, Tim Gilbert caught up on behalf of the Footy Show with the wife, or the former wife of Clive Churchill.
I met him, he was manager of an Ampol service station at Kingsford, and I was a tennis player, and I used to call in there for petrol now and again, and we got to meet there.
With nostalgia, it must be very important not only to you but your whole family that Clive's name is mentioned in such a great way and remembered in such a great way with the best player on the field every grand final day.
Yeah, we're very proud of that. Very proud of Clive, and his name still carries on, and it will be for a long time yet. And to be the #1 with the Immortals, we're very proud of him.
Yeah, what do you think he'd think of the game today?
Well, it's hard to say because the rules have changed now. I certainly think that he would be saying to me that they're not worth all this money at the moment.
There is brilliance though these days, isn't there? What about a guy like Billy Slater?
Billy Slater, I put Billy Slater up there with Clive. Not as good as Clive, but I put him up there with Clive and also Darren Lockyer. Darren Lockyer now playing 5'8". I prefer him to be playing fullback because he looked like Clive with everything that he was doing. Billy Slater, I've got him up there. Since he won the medal in 2009, I've been looking at Billy more as fullback. And watching him, he comes into the game, makes the extra man. He's got quick hands, passes the ball, makes tries, scores tries, and that's what Clive did.
Is that what reminds you of?
That reminds me of Clive. Although I thought Clive was a bit of a freak with football. He could do anything. I mean, he could kick field goals and everything. And I think that Billy Slater sometimes must have been looking at Clive because he's doing much the same thing.
What about the whole idea of an 8th Immortal being named?
I think the word immortal is a great honour, and it's a name above the rest. I mean, you can have great players and you can have legends. The word immortal, I mean, it's a great honour to be an immortal.
Everyone's going to pontificate, everyone's going to have their ideas. Who would be, in Joyce Churchill's view,
the next immortal? I would go for Billy Slater and Darren Lockyer, but they're not available, of course. But they are talking about Andrew Johns and Norm Proven.
How nice is it when you get in conversations, you and Rod and the rest of the family, when you hear people continually talk about, I remember how wonderful Clive was, and his memory lives on in that way?
Yeah, well, we're quite honoured to hear people talking about Clive that way. And it was only recently I went to a presentation. There was a fellow there, I think he had the horse that won the Melbourne Cup, you know, and he came up to the table and he said, Mrs. Churchill, he said, your husband was the greatest footballer ever. Well, I had tears in my eyes when he came up to the table and the room was full of people. And I mean, we just get so proud of that, people saying those things.
Yeah, great lady, and it's wonderful to see her grand final day, at the very least, presenting the Clive Churchill medal to the best player in our grand final. That is very fitting. Her husband, well, he achieved it all in the game, and he did so standing 5'9" and weighing 79 kilos. But the Churchill name continues to live on, and that was a wonderful interview from Tim Gilbert, and we thank Joyce Churchill for her time. We'll take a break now.